the early episodes of The Crown were actually quite close to historical truth. And little by little, they started inventing things. They invented the idea that the reason all Prince Philip's family were killed in an air crash was they were coming to upbraid him for being a disruptive teenager at Dordenston. That was all completely made up. They were coming to a family wedding.
Andrew, you've written about the royal family rather a lot. Is The Crown your cup of tea?
Well, it was, with Claire Foy as the Queen.
Yeah.
I just thought Claire Foy did so much for the monarchy, they've got no idea, because in one's head, one began to think the Queen was Claire Foy and Claire Foy was the Queen. As it's gone on, I think it's slithered down, and I now think it's turned into a rather cruel, horrible programme, actually.
Why is that? Is that because it's closer to our time?
It's because you're dealing with people, particularly the two princes, who lost their mother in the most horrible and public way, and making plays about it, and simply inventing scenes and having the ghost of poor Diana coming back, I think is repellent, actually. It's morally repellent.
Really?
And I don't want to watch it anymore. Also, I think all the actors who, the earlier actors, such as Claire Foy, were excellent. I don't think the other actors are up to it, the new ones, and I don't think the scripts are nearly as good as they used to be.
The bits I've heard there, I would say it sounds like poshy senders to me. Marianne,
Exactly.
Marianne Seagull, where are you on this?
I'm with Andrew on this, actually. I stopped watching it because it just got so many things wrong, and that made me angry, because I think a lot of younger people watching this series will believe it and think that it's almost like a documentary, and it's affecting the lives, as Andrew says, of real living people. I mean, if a movie gets Napoleon wrong, then nobody really suffers. But, William and Harry are still alive, Charles and Camilla are still alive, and if this series is traducing what actually happened, then that is affecting them pretty badly. And yeah, the idea of bringing Diana back as a ghost is just risible.
So do you think, therefore, you can't make plays, make art out of contemporary life? It's a tricky one, though, isn't it? Because you can have history books and then you can wait 50 years. The early series of The Crown was about stuff a long time ago and everyone feels comfortable about it. But are we saying, Marianne, I hear Andrew's view on this as well, that there is something morally iffy about making art about current times or very recent times?
Well, there is if you change the facts, yes. If you respect the facts, that's absolutely fine. But if you change them, I think that's wrong.
Andrew?
That's the crucial thing, that, I mean, the early episodes of The Crown were actually quite close to historical truth. And little by little, they started inventing things. They invented the idea that the reason all Prince Philip's family were killed in an air crash was they were coming to upbraid him for being a disruptive teenager at Dordenston. That was all completely made up. They were coming to a family wedding. I mean, he wasn't misbehaving at Dordenston. He was slavishly well behaved at Dordenston. And we all know that as an old man, he was horribly distressed by that programme. I don't see any particular virtue. If you're upsetting a monster, if you're upsetting Boris Johnson or something, or President Trump, then they could take it on the chin, because they've been upsetting us for the last 10 years. But I think you do, whether you're a journalist writing about this stuff, or a dramatist, or a novelist, you do have an obligation, if people are still alive and it's all recent, to stick to the truth.
I am still watching and still intend to, but I will agree with you that it's becoming more difficult. Isn't the word? But I don't enjoy it the same way that I used to. But we have been having this debate for the last however many years, 7 years, about The Crown. If you just translate historical events into screenplay, is it actually, if someone actually did that as an experiment, would this be still something that people wanted to watch?
Well, I think so, because Stig says I've written about the royal family a lot. I would say far too much, and I don't quite know what I've been doing thinking about these people so much. Let alone what the great let alone what the great British public or the world. I mean, something like the Queen's funeral was watched by everybody in the world. It's extraordinary the interest people express in these essentially not very interesting people. But it's true, and therefore I think we have a special obligation to them. They've been shoved into this position. They're not very interesting. Most of them aren't very clever. And it's in a way, it's rather cruel to be setting them up as these Aunt Sallys, unless one tries at least to be loyal to what's true about them and what's false about them.
Okay.